Hey gang, it's Tuesday Talk with Rhonda, Monique, Associate Broker. And today we're going to be talking about making and winning the offer. So, you've gotten approved for a loan, you've looked at several homes with your realtor, and now you found the one. You found the house of your dreams. So, it's time to make an offer. Okay, you're so excited. Guess what? You find out that there are two other offers on the table. So what do? Okay, this is where you need a really good team. Of course, your realtor, your lender, the closing attorney, and actually even the home inspector. All of them make a really good part of your team. Okay? So, most sellers we know, they want the highest cash offer with no contingencies. Okay? But let's assume all three of these are actual loans. All right. We also know that most sellers, 9 times out of 10, they prefer a conventional offer over an FHA or VA loan because FHA and VA, sometimes their appraisals can tend to look more like another inspection. And sometimes sellers don't want to deal with that. But let's just assume all three of these loans are similar and the offers are similar. So, what factors make a winning offer? Okay. Now, I know this may not seem really important, but guess what? When the agents on both sides, when they're able to build rapport and they may actually even know each other or have worked together before or know of each other's reputation, that actually makes a difference because guess what? People work with people that they like. Okay. I don't know for sure, but I've been in a multiple offer situation a couple of times, and I feel like I won the offer because, it was with an agent that I worked with before. It was with an agent that I'm active on the board of realtors with, and they know my work ethic and I know theirs, and they know that if they're working with me, this deal is going to close, and it's going to close on time. So things like that actually make a really good difference. The other thing is your lender. You want a lender who communicates well, not just with you and your client, but also with the listing agent. I've had lenders call, especially if I know I'm in a multiple offer situation, I've had lenders call, pick up the phone, introduce themselves and say, hey, I just want to verify and vouch that this client is actually approved and not pre-qualified, but that they have turned in all their docs, they've gone through underwriting, and I can vouch that this client has the ability to purchase this home. So, another thing you want to make sure is that your client is flexible with the closing date. One of the things that I do as soon as I know that I'm in a multiple offer situation, I call the listing agent and I say, hey, when do your clients prefer to close? What is their preferred closing date? And that's the date that I'm going to put on my offer. Now, granted, it may not work the best for my clients. And then that's when I need to let them know, hey, you guys need to come up with a plan B. Of course, nobody wants to move twice. You don't want to have to move into a hotel or with a family member or somewhere temporarily. But if this is a home of your dreams that you're going to be in for the next 10, 20, 30 years, what's a week or two of inconvenience? Another way to make your offer really strong is to put down additional earnest or option money for with the initial offer. There is no standard amount of earnest money, but typically people will put down about 1% of the purchase price. So if you're looking at a $300,000 house, that's $3,000. You may want to put down $5,000 or $6,000 because that's also not only with the lender calling and you putting down a substantial amount of earnest money, that's showing the seller that, hey, you do have the ability to buy this home. And also maybe even some non-refundable option money. It shows them how serious you are that you really, really want this home. Closing attorney. Always try to pick a closing attorney that either has several locations to choose from throughout the area, or that they also have the ability to travel, because there may not be an office that's convenient to both the seller and the buyer. So we can possibly pick a location that they can then travel to and close. And believe me, I've closed at other people's offices. Sometimes, even like a Regis or a WeWork space. I even closed one of my recent closings was at Urban Tea in Alpharetta, which had a really nice space. And we were able to sit there and drink tea while we were going through the closing. But that is also very important, and it helps with, a strong offer. The other thing, and I know this one is really, really tough for some of my buyers, but try not to ask for so many concessions. I mean, when you're competing against other buyers, the last thing you want to do is ask for all of your closing costs, a home warranty. You want to ask them to pay all of the transfer fees. There may be a transfer fee on the termite bond, or transfer or initiation fee with the HOA. So some of that stuff you may want to pay for yourself. Now, of course, with the VA loan, veterans are not allowed to pay for some of those things. But like I said, we're just talking about if everything is equal. We're comparing apples to apples. So one other really good thing is to have a short due diligence period. Your due diligence period is your inspection period. That is the time here in Georgia you can terminate the contract for any reason. You may only want to do 3 days and have a short finance contingency, maybe just 10 or 14 days, depending on how quick the lender can get your loan approved. So, my inspector, hey, if I tell him we've got a 3-day due diligence, he will have his inspectors out there. They work 7 days a week, as I said, and they will have that report for you in less than 24 hours. I mean, most of the time, less than 12 hours, but they guarantee in less than 24 hours, which then gives us plenty of time to address any concerns or request repairs that may be needed. And you know what? If you don't want to do a short due diligence or finance contingency, you can actually do no finance contingency. And you're like, what? How do I not have a finance contingency? Of course, you're still going to have a loan exhibit attached to your contract. But I have a lender who they can get the appraisal ordered, completed, loan approved, all in less than 14 days. So what you want to do is make your offer look similar to a cash offer. Cash offers typically have a longer due diligence period because they do want time to inspect the home and, just like I said, it's their due diligence, time to investigate anything else that they need to do. But of course, they don't have a finance contingency because they're paying cash. So when you do like a 14-day due diligence period and 0 finance contingency, you have basically almost submitted like a cash offer. And my lender can get that appraisal, all of that stuff done. So then you know what you're working with. If there's a low appraisal that comes in, we need to address it. All of those things can be addressed during the due diligence period. So those are some tips on what you need to do to make your offer stronger. Now, of course, everybody wants a deal. Sellers, let's just be honest. Sellers want the most money they can get for their home, and buyers want to pay the least amount of money they can get for that same home. But you have to really, really think about it. We are in a seller's market. We've been in a seller's market for quite some time. And to be in a multiple offer situation is, it's just almost typical, whether you're competing against one other buyer or whether you're competing against 13 other buyers, which is also pretty typical in this market, depending on the home. But you're going to have to decide if this is the home of your dreams that you're going to be in for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Are you willing to risk that home for just a couple $1,000s and you can actually win the offer? So just contact my team and we can actually sit down and we can help you find that next dream home of yours. And guess what? We can help you win that offer. So hope you guys enjoyed Tuesday Talk with Rhonda Monique. and I will see you next week.